Hello friends, so today we are going to focus on what we were doing yesterday, except we're going to be zooming in on adding those 3-digit numbers. So from what I saw, it looks like all of us, for the most part, really have a good handle on how to build the numbers with our base 10 blocks. And we're just getting a little bit stuck on how to add those big numbers. And since we just touched on it yesterday, we're going to zoom in and really focus on that today so that that's solid, so that when we move forward, you will be ready to go. So Miss Phrase loves to learn using food. Miss Phrase loves her food, so it makes it a lot more fun and a little bit easier to understand. So I will be using food to help us understand how to add these super big numbers. So this first one is our flat. Now we know, shout it out if you remember, what is the flat worth? I have it right here, it's 100. So my flat is going to be our cracker. Kind of looks like a flat, it's a rectangle. That's going to be our 100. My long, it's worth 10, is going to be our pretzel stick. And my cube is worth 1, it's going to be my delicious M&M. So we have our flat, we have our long, and we have our M&Ms. Now, we are going to be using these to build our numbers so that we can see how many are all together once we add them. So we're going to jump down here. We can look back at that anytime we need to remember, but we're going to jump back down here. So I have two 3-digit numbers. So I have 331 plus, which means adding them together, 225. Now, I split it down the middle so that we can keep 331 here and 225 here, because we are building them and eventually we're going to add them all together, but right now they need to be done separately. So my first step, as always, I'm going to label each of my place values so that we know what is what. So that's my ones, tens, and then in a 3-digit number, my first number is always my 100 spot. Same thing on this side. So this is going to be my ones. My middle is going to be, my tens. And then my first one is going to always be my hundredths place, as long as there are 3 digits in the number. So we could do either number first because we are adding, but I'm going to start with my 331. So first things first, I always first look at my ones place value, because once we get into exchanging, you can only have ones in the ones place. So if you end up getting too many, you have to jump over to the tens place. So that is why it's so important to focus on the ones place, but we'll get into that more later. So I need to look here. My ones are cubes, so I'm going to have my M&Ms. How many ones in my ones place? Just 1. Next, my tens place. How many tens in my tens place? 3. So I need 3 pretzels. 1, 2, 3. And how many hundredths do I have? Well, it tells me I have 3, so I need to grab 3 crackers. 1, 2, 3. Now let's count it just to make sure. In my ones place, I have 1 cube, because it's ones, we count it by 1, so there's 1. In my tens place, this isn't 3, because it's 10, so we're counting by 10. So 10, 20, 30. 31. And then in my hundredths, we have 1, 2, 300. So 331. Checks out, but we're not done yet because we still have to add. So we're going to come over here. In my ones place, I have 5, so I'm going to grab 5 M&Ms or 5 cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. In my tens place, how many do I have? 2, so I need 2 pretzels. And in my hundredths place, 2, so I need how many crackers? I need 2 crackers. Okay, let's check it. My ones place, we're counting by ones. It tells me there's 5, so let's count. How many M&Ms do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. How about in my tens place? It tells me I have 2, but I'm not counting them by ones because it's my tens place. So let's count them by tens. Very good. Here we go. 10, 20, so we have 25. And in my hundreds place, we're not counting by twos, we're not counting by ones, we're counting by 100. And how many do we have? 1, 2. So we have 100, 200. So we have 225. Awesome. But yet we are not done still because we are adding. That means combining or putting them all together. So I'm not going to just mix them up and make a whole big mess of everything. I'm going to keep them in their place value. So let's see how many ones I have first to make sure that we don't need to exchange. So I'm going to count all of these M&Ms. And I'm going to count this M&M because those are all my cubes, those are all my ones. So let's count them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 M&Ms, so that's a 6 in my ones place. So I'm going to put a 6 here. Okay, next, my tens place. Remember, my tens are my pretzels, so I'm going to grab all my pretzels. And let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 pretzels. Now remember, in our tens place, we're not counting by ones, we're counting by tens. So let's do that. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So that's 56. And our last thing that we need to count to add these big tricky numbers are the crackers, because that's in our hundredth spot. So I'm going to take my crackers on this side and my crackers on this side, and we're going to add them up. Here we go. 1. Let's start counting by hundreds right off the bat because we know these are hundreds. So 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. So we have 556. We kept everything in their place value. We used our base 10 blocks, or Miss Fraze used her snacks, which you are more than welcome to do at your house. We added them all together, and we got our answer. And guess what? It checks out. So that is one way that we can use our delicious snacks to help us to solve these tricky math problems. You can also use paper, you can use dice, you can use blocks, you can draw pictures, whatever works best for you to help that brain grow. But this is what we're going to be working on today. This is going to be the assignment. So you're really focusing on adding those numbers using all 3-digit place value. All right, guys, good luck, and jump over to the next video if you're rocking this and you're ready for a little bit of an extra challenge.